At first, I thought it was just frizz. That weird little halo that started showing up after I stopped coloring my hair. From a distance, I looked like I'd been lightly electrocuted by a sock. One morning, hair still damp, standing by the mirror, I leaned in closer and realized this wasn't frizz. It was sharper, meaner, like the ends of my hair were staging a full-blown rebellion. I tried oils, creams, even one of those fancy silk pillowcases that promised smoother mornings. Still woke up looking like I'd spent the night wrestling a shrub. Here's the thing no one tells you. When your hair goes gray, it doesn't just lose pigment. It changes personality. And for some of us, that personality is Poky, almost broom-like. A woman once told me my hair feels like tiny wires trying to escape my head. If you've ever felt that too, on your crown, around your ears, or right at the hairline, you're not alone. And no, your hair isn't bad. It's just being cut like it's still soft, which it isn't, not anymore. That's where shape comes in. Because the right cut doesn't fight your texture. It works with it. So today, we're looking at the best shortcuts for bristly, stubborn gray hair. The ones that soften the look, calm the wild bits, and bring peace to your silver crown. And if you're tired of arguing with your hair every morning, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe if you're ready for real talk about real hair, the kind that pokes, resists, and still deserves to look beautiful. Style 1. The cut that softens without flattening. Blended pixie with side fringe. Let's start with a cut that's made peace with difficult hair. The blended pixie with a soft side fringe. Now, I know the word pixie can sound aggressive, like something a 20-year-old does in a moment of chaos. But this version, it's gentle. It listens, and most importantly, it knows how to work with stubborn texture. Here's what makes it special. Instead of choppy spikes or harsh angles, this pixie is blended through the crown and sides. It uses longer internal layers, cut in the direction your hair wants to grow, not against it. That means those wiry hairs that usually stand straight up, they actually start to fall into place, or at least pretend to. And then there's the fringe, a light, side-swept piece that rests just around the temple. It softens the whole face, helps hide poky regrowth around the front hairline, and adds a bit of movement without weight. I remember one woman, silver hair, thick glasses, dry humor, said she looked like a porcupine in a windstorm before she switched to this cut. Now, she's got soft volume, no puff, and a shape that actually flatters her cheekbones. Stylist tip, don't let them over-texturize this cut. If they bring out thinning scissors and you've got coarse hair, run. Ask for precision shears and tell them, I want soft shape, not spiky chaos. Done right, this cut grows out beautifully and finally gives those poky hairs something to belong to. Style 2. Avoid the puff. Why some layered cuts make coarse hair worse. Now, let's talk about what not to do, because some cuts make coarse hair even angrier. You know the ones. Short layers all over. Little feathery bits that are supposed to add movement. Except on coarse or wiry hair, they don't move. They stick out, like little antennae. I've seen it too many times. Women walk into the salon wanting softness and leave with something that looks like a mushroom having a rough day. Here's why. Short external layers, especially around the crown, lift coarse hair up and out. Instead of relaxing the shape, they add volume in the worst places. Even worse, some stylists reach for thinning shears, thinking they're helping. But on coarse or bristly textures, that just creates uneven strands that bend, poke, and break at random. One stylist told me, thinning scissors are like a bad relationship. You think they'll fix things, but they just make everything more unpredictable. So what's the alternative? Ask for longer, internal layering, especially through the crown and sides. This softens the structure without removing weight in the wrong spots. It allows the hair to lay flatter instead of puffing out like it's trying to escape your head. And always ask, how will this grow out in 6 weeks? If the answer is, oh, we'll just cut it again, maybe rethink that chair. Sometimes the best cut for bristly hair isn't the one that changes everything. It's the one that stops making it worse. Style 3. The soft bob with tucked-in ends. If a pixie feels too bold, or if you just prefer a bit more length, let me introduce you to the soft bob with tucked-in ends. This cut is a lifesaver for coarse or bristly hair, especially when the ends start slipping out like tiny claws. You know the feeling. You style the front. It looks decent. Then you turn sideways, and there's this one section at the nape that's doing its own thing. Usually out and up. That's where this bob shines. The trick lies in the undercut technique. Just enough weight taken from underneath to let the ends tuck in gently under the chin or jawline. No curling iron, no mousse, just smart geometry. I met a woman once, very elegant, sharp silver bob, pearl earrings. And she said, I used to fight my ends every morning. Now they just behave. That's what this bob does. It gives structure without aggression. Another key? Length control. Go too long, and coarse hair starts pushing back, literally. But when it hits just below the ear or at the top of the neck, it curves naturally inward, almost like it wants to cooperate. Stylist tip: ask for a blunt baseline with minimal layering. This gives weight to the ends, which prevents them from flipping out and getting crispy. If they must lay, have them do it internally and sparingly. This cut works especially well if you wear glasses, earrings, or scarves, because it frames the face without overpowering it. And most importantly, it stops the back of your head from looking like it's trying to make a break for it. Part 4. Don't forget the neckline, how the back can change everything. Most of us focus on what we see in the mirror, but with coarse or poky hair, the back is where the real chaos happens, especially at the neckline. There's something about silver hair at the nape. It grows in strong, stubborn, and outward. You style the top, it looks great. Then you catch a glimpse from the side, and bam, the back is flaring like a little hedgehog. Here's the trick. The neckline needs its own strategy. A good stylist will taper the back gently, cutting it closer to the skin, but not in a way that looks harsh or masculine. Think clean, not severe. The goal is to create a soft slope downward, not a hard line across. I once had a stylist tell me, hair at the nape is like the hem of a dress. If it's off, the whole look feels wrong. She was right. If your coarse hairs tend to flip up at the back, ask for a graduated or stacked back, but with the shortest point just above the natural hairline. This helps the hair curve inward instead of resisting gravity. And here's a small but mighty tip. Ask for a rounded edge at the nape, not square. Rounded shapes always read softer, and they age better. Because let's be honest, no one wants to look polished in the front and spiky in the back. Here's what I've learned. You don't have to fight your hair to feel good about it, especially not after 60. Your hair is allowed to be coarse. It's allowed to be poky, opinionated, and a little rebellious. But the shape you give it, that's what makes all the difference. A smart cut doesn't try to change your texture. It works with it, guiding it, softening the outline, and helping it sit where it wants to sit, not where a flat iron says it should. And honestly, when your hair starts poking out like silver pine needles, it's not a failure. It's just a signal. This texture needs a different approach. Not more product, not more heat, just better structure. The right cut can turn stiff ends into a clean line. It can take a wiry crown and make it look purposeful, elegant even. and it can shift the focus from, how do I fix this, to this actually feels like me. So, if you've been quietly wrestling with your hair every morning, maybe it's time to stop the fight. Give it a shape that knows what it's working with. Let the hair be coarse, but let the look be soft. And if you found a cut that tamed your stubborn strands, even just a little, tell us in the comments. You never know who you'll help by sharing. And hey, if you like this, feel free to subscribe. We talk about real hair here, the kind that pokes, resists, and still deserves to look beautiful.